Born on or around March 15th, 270, in Patora, Lycia, or modern-day Turkey, Nicholas of Myra was a bishop who spent his life doing good for others, hardly ever thinking of himself. His acts of selflessness spread throughout the world and was eventually given sainthood, thereby forever being known as Saint Nick. His legend grew and changed over time, becoming the basis for the holiday icon known as Santa Claus. But you already knew that. So, here are 10 things you probably didn't know about Saint Nicholas. Number 10. He is the most well-known non-biblical saint. Though most of the United States celebrate Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas is more popular around the world, particularly in the European nations. Though there have been many saints over the centuries, very few match the popularity and revere as Saint Nicholas. He has over 2,000 churches dedicated him in France and Germany, and 400 churches in England alone. Number 9. He is the patron saint of a lot. Because of the many miracles and deeds attributed to Saint Nick, he has been deemed patron saint of some interesting things, including sailors, archers, brewers, pawnbrokers, pirating, haberdashery, orphans, and New York City. He is also venerated in many different religions, including Baptist, Catholicism, Lutheranism, and Methodism. Number 8. He is most famous for one single act of kindness. Many interesting stories and miracles have been linked to Saint Nick, including exorcising demons from a tree, healing a woman's withered hand, and resurrecting 3 young boys who had been killed by a butcher and made into ham. Seriously, look that one up. It's bananas. But perhaps his most famous deed is when he paid for a poor man's dowry for his 3 daughters by tossing 3 bags of gold through the man's window so his daughters could marry and not, most likely, end up prostitutes. Number 7. His remains were stolen. St. Nicholas died on December 6, 343 at the ripe old age of 73, with his body being placed in a tomb in Myra, an ancient city that was part of the Roman Empire. In 1071, the Turks took control of Myra, and because of the constant battles, Christians were concerned that his tomb would be impossible to get to. During all this confusion, sailors entered the town and stole his remains and took them to Bury, Italy, where they remain to this day. The problem was, they only took half of his remains. The other half is in a church in Venice. Number 6. The modern version was created by a poet, a cartoonist, and a soda. The Santa Claus we know today is a melting pot of different ideas and traditions. Many of Santa's characteristics, such as his beard, naughty and nice list, and coming down the chimney to leave presents, came from the Norse god Odin. His popular look, with the red suit and black boots, come from a picture drawn by political cartoonist Thomas Nast that was included in the published poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," written in 1823 by Clement C. Moore, then titled A Visit from St. Nick. The Coca-Cola Company is also responsible for the popularization of the modern-day Santa, as they have been using St. Nick in their holiday ads since the early 1930s. Number 5. Before Santa, there was the Yule Goat. A lot of what we know about Santa Claus today came from the Scandinavian countries, but before Santa Claus gained popularity, the Yule Goat was their most popular legend. In the beginning, it was the Yule Goat's job to make sure that all families were preparing for the Yule celebrations. While at the family's house, he would demand to be given gifts. Though after a while the legend shifted, and instead the goat would leave gifts. After the rise of the popularity of Santa Claus, however, the Yule Goat fell into obscurity. Number 4. His name is Dutch. Santa Claus is the culmination of centuries of different religious and pagan beliefs, all rolled up into a jolly fat man who breaks into your house once a year. His name has its own origin too. During the 17th century, the Dutch people would hold celebrations for St. Nicholas. During this time, they started to shorten St. Nicholas to Sinterklaas. When the Dutch people came to America, the American people heard Sinterklaas and started pronouncing it Santa Claus. Number 3. He is a real person in the comic book universe. Over the years, many stories have starred old Saint Nick. There have been countless movies and television shows that have depicted the jolly old elf, but maybe none is more unique than Santa's exploits in the comic book world. Santa has crossed paths with many of your favorite superheroes. He teamed up with the Justice League. The Easter Bunny hired the intergalactic bounty hunter Lobo to kill him. And in Marvel Comics, he is the world's most powerful mutant, as Professor X found him while using Cerebro. Number 2. The department store Santa is a century-long tradition. In the late 19th century, the closest children could get to Santa Claus was pictures in newspapers and the occasional figurine. But in 1890, a man by the name of James Edgar changed that. Edgar owned a dry goods store in Boston. In one year, he had a Santa outfit made and went to his store. After a while, children began arriving from Boston, Providence, even New York to see and speak to Santa. By 1891, Santa appeared in many department stores, and by the turn of the century, it had become a tradition. And number 1, he's Canadian and a professional pilot. It may be said that Santa Claus belongs to the world. However, it's been revealed that the North Pole, where Santa lives, lies within the Canadian jurisdiction. And on December 23, 2008, Jason Kenney, Canada's Minister of Citizenship, awarded Canadian citizenship to Santa Claus. And in 1927, the U.S. government officially issued Santa a pilot's license so that he could legally fly the skies. However, just like all stalwart pilots, he does have to keep renewing it. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this that are uploaded weekly, please hit subscribe. If there is a certain celebrity that you would like to see featured in an upcoming video, please leave their name in the comment section below.